Okay, good morning everybody. First week we have discussed about intellectual property, different forms, why intellectual property, its importance, nature of intellectual property, all those things. So now as the course have been designed for engineers and technologists, so patent is one of the forms of intellectual property. Those are essentials for say technologists and engineers, because the technological features can only be protected by means of patent. Okay, just like say if I ask you what do you mean by technology? Okay, just like say I try to just analyze technology in the form of a product or process. Just like say consider communications technology. It includes communication device which I can consider as a product. Also it includes communications process or systems. So that way that you just consider technology in the purview of product or process. So on that regards, considering on that aspects, and we consider technology is an application of science. So we apply science, based on that we design some product, or also we apply science to ultimately design or create or invent some process. So on that premises, let us see how we can fit patent within the purview of intellectual property. Okay, just like say a layman understanding or considering your knowledge on first week class on intellectual property rights, I will first try to give you an impression of patent in present day context. Then I will also give an overview how it has developed over the years. Okay. So let us see patent. If I ask patent, what are the features remains in patent considering present knowledge. Okay. So patent we can consider a limited period territorial. So limited period territorial, exclusive right or negative right provided by government or state to patentee for his invention on consideration of the disclosure of his invention. Okay, so considering that, say let's say what are the features we are getting in a patent? Features we are getting in a patent. So it is limited period. So what do you mean by limited period? Just like say limited periods. Our last class we discussed intellectual property rights are exclusive right, and to make a balance between private and public, the features incorporated in the intellectual property rights are in the form of a limited rights. That I last class we discussed, you remember that we consider public good, and public good is non-rival, non-excludable. And so limited period, exclusive right are the features of intellectual property rights. Within that period, it will be treated as not public good, it will be considered as a within the purview of the private rights. So patent, what features we are getting? Limited period, and again I told limited period territorial. Okay. So just like I will try to explain that part, territorial. What do you mean by territorial? Just like say, if you have some patent in India, so your right is restricted only in India. You do not have any rights beyond India, because who has, just like next column, next point, if you remember, provided by government / state. So, who has given the right? If Indian government has given the rights, so your territory is restricted to India. If say Japan government, if you have Japanese patent, if Japan government give you the rights, then the right will be restricted to Japan. So, if you have a Japanese patent, so your territory is Japan. If you have an Indian patent, your territory is India. If you have an US patent, your territory is Japan. Now, if you have a Japan patent, US patent and Indian patent, so with reference to US patent, your right is in US. With reference to Japan patent, your right is in Japan. With reference to Indian patent, your right is restricted to India. So, this is the concept of territorial. Now, limited period territorial. So, I refer that intellectual property rights are exclusive right, and to make it private public balance, we have given the features of limited period. So, for that, it has been right will be provided to the patentee for limited period. After that, it will be treated as public good, means it will be non-rival, non-excludable. Anybody can use it. Why limited period? Limited period to give some incentive to the patentee, or say if inventor is the patentee, to the inventor for his invention, so that he will be more interested, more encouraged to create further invention. Okay. So, for that reason it is a limited period. So, limited period for the present context, limited period is 20 years, means in Indian patents, then from the date of filing your patent, your right will be restricted for 20 years. Beyond 20 years, it will be considered as public good. Okay. So, this is a limited period. If you ask me why 20 years, is there an economical justification or econometric analysis regarding that? Per se, there is no clear cut formula with reference to 20 years. They consider that 20 years is the time for the patentee to get some return on investment. Okay. So, considering that, they have decided let give a 20 years period right to the patentee for his invention. Okay. So, now limited period territorial, that part you got some idea. So, I referred earlier also that exclusive right, again I have made at exclusive / negative rights. So, okay, just like if I consider that I want to exclude somebody, okay, so I want to exclude somebody. So, it will be can be designed on a negative way, that I do not allow others to use that thing. Okay. Exclusive right can be designed such a way that I will prevent or not allow other to use my invention. So, that way patent right has been casted in the form of negative rights. Okay. Just like say consider patentee can prevent to use his invention without his permission, either in the form of an article or device. Okay. If patent is in the form of a process, so whatever the process, generally will generalize some tangible product or use in a tangible product. So, he will prevent other to use the product using that process which is his invention for the limited period, means 20 years, where he has a valid patent. Okay. So, now we got the three idea of the three part: limited period, territorial exclusive right slash negative right. Negative means to prevent others. So, here intellectual property rights have been casted in the form of negative rights, means the patentee will prevent other to use his invention without his permissions. Okay. So, now rights, you may ask me the questions, how we will get the rights, who will give the rights. So, for the reason I have referred here, provided by the government. So, regulation, who regulated the patents? By government regulation or private regulation, I will say that government, or I refer as a state, that they will give this right to whom? To the patentee. I will explain subsequently how, what do you mean by patentee. For what patentee will get the right? For his invention. Why government will give the right? As he will not keep the invention in the form of a secret. He will disclose the invention to the public. In consideration of that, government will give him some limited period negative rights for this territory. Okay. So, you now got the idea what is meant by patent. Let us take an example to explain in detail. Okay. So, let us say you know Thomas Edison invented bulb. So, Thomas Edison invented bulb in the form of a tungsten filament. Okay. So, now if Thomas Edison file a patent application in USA, so the US government will give him a limited period, means considering present day context 20 years rights in the form of a negative rights in USA for his invention. And what will happen? The procedural aspect created a window that after filing of the patent applications, after specific duration of time, that patent application or specification of the application will be made available to the public. So, what will happen? The public will get the knowledge about the invention in the form of a written specification that will be published in the patent office website. And now, further people will invent new maybe bulb with, instead of tungsten, they may think about some others high melting point or some other types of filaments. Okay. So, that advantage for that disclosure, that people who are now trying to chalk out their R&D investment in filament, they will stop researching on tungsten in the form of which Mr. Edison has filed the patent applications, and that has been made available to the public in the form of a disclosure made by patent office. So, they will stop. That will ultimately say will be prudent, because the company will now decide not to invest in that area or invest further beyond tungsten. Got the thing. So, that will not say wasteful prevent wasteful utilization of investment or resources. Okay. So, that is the advantage of disclosure. So, now I will explain you that what do you mean by invention and what do you mean by patentee. So, present day context, invention means new product or process having an inventive steps and capable of industrial applications. I have already mentioned you that for me, I analyze technology in the form of a product or process. For the reason I told you that patent, you should learn the patent very well to ultimately get fruits of intellectual property rights. Okay. So, now see that. So, patent means new product or process having an inventive step and capable of industrial applications. So, see that product or process is coming in the form of an invention. So, let us see that Thomas Edison's bulb. Now, if you want to invent something in the form of a bulb, you know that we have CFL, carbon filament lamp. So, the improved over the tungsten filament lamp. Now, further improvement LED. So, see that how the improvement is been happening and generating new product. So, the product is coming up by means of some invention. Okay. So, I will subsequently explain you how how the invention to be considered and to qualify to be patentable, what are the characteristics it required. Although the invention definition, if you clearly analyze the characteristics of a patentable invention has mentioned here. So, now the another part I already referred, the patentee. The right will be provided to whom? To patentee. So, what do you mean by patentee? Patentee means the person for the time being enter on the register as grantee or proprietor of the patent. Okay. So, just like say consider if you go to the land revenue, land registers, then somebody's against the somebody's name a particular land remain registered. So, for why that register, what is the implication of the register? Register is the evidence. So, somebody one can extract the take extract of the registers, and if some litigation or something arises, that will be the proof of his ownership or proprietorship. So, for that reason similarly patent office keeps a register of patents. The register of patents given the name of the proprietor against whom that patent has been registered. So, that will give the proof that the patent who is the owner of a particular of that patent, of the patent means say if we consider that CFL with specific property, a specific process of synthesis or making a CFL been patented by Mr. Tom, I referred in the first class. So, the name of the Mr. Tom will be reflected in the register with reference to that patent, and also the date of patents means from which date the patent has been filed, everything will be reflected in the registers. Okay. So, now you got the idea about the patent in the present day context, means present day what people are thinking about the patent. So, now better to understood how it has been originated, and also I am just explaining you with reference to the invention that okay, product, process, how both can be and can come up within the purview of invention. Just like say consider a product I referred as active pharmaceutical ingredient. Presently, you know that lots of pharmaceutical company is investing a huge amount of money for generating an API. So, if API is the product, means you are generating an API for let us say particular cancers, for particular type of cancers. So, the product is your invention, you know that a product, okay, maybe particular product is already available, your product is efficient compared to the available product, then your product will be considered to be your invention. Now, if you have made the product using some process, let us say some reaction involved, in the reaction you have particular conditions, temperatures, pressures, catalyst, particular chambers used. So, the process and product may be your invention. Somebody now can do a value addition by improvement of that process without improving the product, then that improved process will be his invention. Similarly, I have given a chip. So, fabrication of the chips using some lithography or CVD routes, that the process and product may be somebody's invention, somebody further improve the process with the same product, say the process will be his invention. Okay. Similarly, physical chemical reaction involved in the synthesis of alloy, compound, solar cell, communication device, etc. So, all those things are considered to be invention, as I referred in the first, I referred earlier that invention means new product or process. So, how can you club an invention in the form of a process or a process and product or process? Okay. Just like say if you do not have a want to invest in the product, simply invest. How can you improve the product or how can you improve the process for the same product. So, same API can be manufactured or synthesized using a number of process. You can generate a cost effective process. So, you will get some rights over that process if it is improved process and qualify to be an invention. Okay. So, these are all the features I referred within the purview of patents. Now, let us say I have given a nice example here. Just like say you will get a small device used in a power plant for flue gas conditioning purposes, because let us say flue gas, what will happen? The flue gas having some sulfur. Now, sulfur will get oxidized to sulfur dioxide, then sulfur trioxide, then it will react with moisture to generate sulfurous or sulfuric acid, and it will ultimately damage component because of the acid dew point corrosion. So, they have designed some systems. So, in that system, if you see that n number of components are involved in that systems. So, each component can be qualified to be an invention, like sulfur storage tank, then a process for arrangement of feeding, control unit, sulfur combustion process, catalytic converter, how the process, how to feed injection can be done, different heat exchanger, how you design, how the air blow can be happen. So, you see that in a simple block diagram, I am explaining how can you generate 100 number of invention in the form of a product or process. I will explain that thing in further when I discuss the invention. Okay. So, now you got an idea. So, what is patent in present day context? So, definitely you are curious. So, that whether it has been originated from sky, how it has been originated. So, if I consider just like in legal part, sometime we try to define a particular word in the two contexts. One is by means of dictionary meaning or one by means of statutory meaning. So, I referred that patent I already explains to you what is the we consider patent in the present day situation. So, now if I try to investigate on the word patent, then we have to ultimately understand how it has the word has originated. So, if you see that patent originates from the Latin word patere, means to make available for public inspection. Okay. So, sometime originated. So, Latin word patere is the origin for the patents. In shortened time, sometimes people refer this as letters patents, or sometimes we refer as open letters, so letters patents. So, the present patent system originated from the letters patents or open letters. So, there is a story that in England Queen awarded some want to give some reward to his chef for making a sweet dishes. So, he has given reward in the form of open letters, whatever we are considering is letters patents. So, that the tools they used to give some reward to somebody. So, now what are the features was associated with letters patents? Letter patent, a type of legal instrument. What do you mean by legal instrument? Just like say not is a legal instrument, legal tools means a document or a certificate, or so it is legal instrument in the form of a published written order issued by monarch, president or other or head of the state, granting some rights to a person or corporation. So, this was the say that this tools was used by that time queen to give some right to for the ships. So, that this was the so it was originated, even a story suggested that it has even originated to in European countries to train his countrymen by foreigners. So, by means of some reward in the form of rights have been provided to them. Subsequently, that different ways the for what that legal instrument was used for different purposes. So, if you consider that it was used for new device, for improvement of existing machines, new manufactures, manner of manufacture. So, what I want to mention that the present day what we are considering as invention in the form of a new product or process, that has been originated long back in the form of a letters patents or some reward in the form of an open letters provided by whom? An authority, just like monarch, president or other head of the state, just like England I referred as a queen. She has issued some open letters. So, initially for new device, then new manufactures, then manner of manufactures, then if you consider James Watt when he invented steam engine. So, it was considered improvement of existing machines. So, best way that the concept of invention have been changing, but now present day we are considering invention in the form of new product or process. So, let us say what is the if I summarize my class now. So, I have given you an idea what do you mean by patent and how it has evolved over the years. So, patent is a limited period exclusive right provided by state to the patentee. So, or is invention or in order to so that he has disclosed his invention and get some limited period rights. Sometimes we consider as patent is a quid pro quo. What do you mean by quid pro quo? Means state is providing you some rights, on return you are disclosing your invention for the public. Benefit for the state, benefit for the state is that other people will now design their R&D based on your disclosure. They will not invest on the same area. So, duplication of research will not happen, duplication of investment will not happen. Benefit for the patentee will get exclusive right in the form of a negative rights for 20 years from the date of filing. Now, he can use his invention in the form of startup or licensing, or he can create something else. So, like this way he will get benefit out of his patents. Okay. So, you got some idea regarding patent. Okay. Thank you.